Seton Hall and TCU. We had a little bit of a delay on this one, but Seton Hall eventually gets posted in some spots as a 1-point favorite. Other spots picked, but Seton Hall -1, the dominant number, and that's the dominant number now. One with a total of 129.5 or 130. Seton Hall the favorite here. And TCU is an interesting team, all because when you look at their overall resume and what they were able to do this year, there's some pretty high highs and some pretty low lows for this team. The highs for this team, namely beating Texas and Kansas, Texas Tech and Kansas, back-to-back games, right? The end of February, the beginning of March, two really good performances for TCU, but then flaming out the end of the regular season to a team like West Virginia. We also had some injury question marks about Mike Miles. It does seem like he's going to be okay and ready for the tournament, but we'll make sure if that's going to be the case. But regardless, Seton Hall 1-point favorite here against the Horned Frogs.
I like TCU here. Jamie Dixon's team has been very battle-tested in the Big 12. I thought the Big 12 and the SEC were neck and neck for the best leagues all year long. They're inconsistent shooting the basketball. Seton Hall, when you look at Willard's team, they look like they should be better than they are from a talent standpoint, but for whatever reason, JVT, they didn't show consistency throughout the season, and I think that'll be the difference in terms of how TCU defense was really impressed in that Big 12 tournament when they were down 18 against Texas at the break, could have folded the tent, come back in the second half against an elite defensive team in the Longhorns, and they get through.
Is that more about Texas or TCU?
I thought it was a combination of both. I think, Texas absolutely was at fault, but I think you have to give TCU credit. When you're down that large a margin, all it takes is one basket to really halt any kind of comeback. But TCU was able to overcome that, and I think they'll be able to do the same thing here. Well, I looked at this Seton Hall team. Their best win came back in December when they beat Michigan in Ann Arbor. Since that point in time, they've been so highly inconsistent.
And that win has lost its luster, by the way, right?
Absolutely. And so for me, I'm going to go with the number 9 seed here in TCU.
Interesting matchup to watch. TCU really bad in Big 12 play and offensive efficiency. 96.8 points per 100 possessions. Turned it over on 23.2% of their possessions as well. But one of the things that really saved them, offensive rebounding, grabbed 35.1% of their misses, and there were a lot of misses because they weren't a good offensive team, and you get a Seton Hall team who had some trouble keeping teams off the offensive glass, opponents grabbing 30.4% of their misses against Seton Hall. So TCU looks like, statistically at least, should be able to not have their way, but have success on the offensive glass, which is one of the biggest things that kept them going throughout Big 12 play. So TCU again, 1-point underdog, total 130.5. This is one where I would expect a little bit of a lower scoring game between two teams that are not really good. Seton Hall themselves, by the way, not very good on the interior, 44.3% on 2-point shots in conference play.
Get prepared for all the madness with VSiN's tournament betting guide, daily best bet emails, plus full access to VSiN through April 5th for only $19 at VSiN.com/madness.